Hello and welcome to a new video about how to successfully apply for a visiting student stay at MIT or any other prestigious university in the United States. First, let's clarify who is this video made for. This video is made for students who are already enrolled in a university, as in my case KIT in Germany. So this means you are already studying in your home country. This video is not including how to successfully apply for a full bachelor's or master's degree at, for example, MIT or any other prestigious university. With the tips included in this video, you will only be able to apply for a semester abroad at this university. So in terms of time, we are only talking about 3 to 12 months, which is, by the way, a perfect time for finishing your bachelor's or master's thesis over there. Okay, so let's start with the first chapter of this video. What should you bring with you? But warning, do not be put off by this video. The application process can be quite time consuming. You can walk through all the points I'm going to tell you step by step and with the help of a lot of people. But okay, you need to fulfill the following points. First point, and that is really the most important point that you need to fulfill. You need to find a professor from your home university and with whom you understand yourself well. The professor really needs to be ready for the fun, and of course he should also have a few hours left for you. Keep in mind he will definitely need to invest these hours into your application. Okay, second point. At some point of your application you need a potential sponsor. Keep that in mind, even if this has not to be confirmed directly, because often you have the chicken or egg problem. This means MIT wants you to have a sponsor, but sponsors only want to support you when you have received an approval from MIT. My advice for this specific problem is to get a non-informal confirmation about that you have a place to study at MIT from the MIT supervisor that you will get to know later. Third, of course, in the best and most cases, you need really good grades. The reason for this is that if you do not know the professor where you're going to at MIT, he will probably have a look on this. This means he will most likely take care of whether your grades are good or not good. But okay, I guess that's what we all have to invest for a semester abroad at such a university. The fourth point is ideally. It can be helpful to have an interesting resume tailored to your research area. Let's come to point 5, which is probably the hardest point to meet. You need to find a professor where you want to stay at MIT and who is also okay with having you in his lab. And of course you can hardly make the contact for this yourself. So this is where the professor at your home university steps in. He needs to write an email to the professor at MIT and recommend you to him with the highest possible tones. It is the best to include a CV and your transcript of records within this email. And next, the quite annoying part, but you need a proof of language proficiency, for example a TOEFL test. My tip, if the professor from MIT agrees, he can also do an interview with you. If you speak well enough for his judgment, he can also issue a waiver for the proof. This could save you some testing costs, cause, for example, TOEFL test is quite expensive. And here we come to point 7. Money. 51% of the money that MIT wants you to show them needs to come from sponsors. Only 49% can be paid by yourself. This rule is strict, and unfortunately this trip can be really expensive. For 6 months you have to expect that MIT wants you to prove that you have $25,000 US. But as far as I know, you then only need $10,000 to $15,000 to survive in the US. These costs are highly dependent on where you want to go, because the location where you want to go can have different prices for apartments. However, for the case MIT, you should expect that you have to bring $12,750 US from funding. The good thing, if you bring those 51% funding with yourself, you don't have to expect that you have to pay so much by yourself. I would say $5,000 US paid by yourself would be good. Better would be 10,000 just to be safe that nothing can happen in the US. And of course, if you find more funding, that's always good. You need to fulfill at least the 51%, but you can bring much more with you. My tip, crowdfunding and assistant scientist jobs might help to finance your own part. Well, and of course, last but not least, you need a lot of time. I've heard that pre-pandemic, the whole application process has only taken a few months. But during the pandemic, MIT changed their whole visiting student program, and this led to a lot of chaos. I was told that I'm the first student in the new visiting student program, and I can promise you it was really chaotic. In my case, the application process has probably been around 1 year. But I hope they've learned out of my application and they will be faster for your application. Okay, now that we know what you need, let's come to the second part of the video. How exactly does the application process work? Attention, for each subsequent step that I'm now going to tell you, I assume that the previous step worked. Well, of course, the first step is do research where you want to go. This means find out which professor, which university and which research group you want to join. My tip for this, take a look with whom your home professor has already published some papers. At next, find for example a professor from MIT who was the co-publisher of the paper. If you can find one, there's a really high chance that the professors already know each other. Second, write the German professor an email about your plans. Write him when you plan to go there and ask him whether he wants to be your person in charge for this. As always, include your CV and your transcript of records in this email. Now, if this worked out, let the German professor write an email to the MIT professor including your plans. Of course, the email should include that the German professor is always supporting you and that you already do fulfill the funding requirements even if you don't yet. Of course, your home professor should also present you as a particularly good student. And as always, your home professor should attach your CV and your transcript of records to this email. To reduce a little bit of the organization, you can also directly ask your home professor whether he will put you in CC of this email so that everything will be a little bit more faster. Once the MIT professor accepts your stay, this will open a lot of doors for you. He will now pay the internal MIT invoice to create a student account for you. This will later help you to create your own MIT email, and just to let you know, for this process the professor at MIT has already to pay $1,200 for you. But mostly the MIT professor is paying this from his own research money. Afterwards, you will receive an email from the visiting student portal, which will look like this. As you can see, you now have to upload a lot of stuff, like for example your CV, a letter of recommendation from your professor at home, a mentoring plan that a professor from MIT will write for you, your transcript of records, and a so-called IPIA form that the MIT will send to you. In the second step, you will get your MIT ID, which is really important. Don't miss this. You will now also be able to create your own MIT account with your own MIT email. Once you have done this and MIT has processed all of your documents, you will get in contact with the International Students Office of MIT, the ISO. They will send you a link to another online checklist that you once have to complete. This checklist now asks you to upload all the important documents that you need to lawfully study at MIT. So here this is the point where you need to meet the conditions that MIT places on you. That means upload a copy of your passport, enter your personal data, address and co, except that you will take out international insurance that will fulfill MIT requirements. Upload all the evidence that will prove that you get 51% of funding from sponsors or foundations. And upload a certificate from your bank that you can pay at least the remaining 49% with your current account balance. Keep in mind, all documents require official letterhead and employee signatures. Now submit all the documents and pray that ISO will accept it. Otherwise, you need to find a way to get better documents. In my case, for example, I need to get another proof for $1,500 more funding. If you have some problems at that point, here the MIT professor can help you and increase your funding budget with small funding commitments. If now everything worked out, ISO will send you your DS 2019. This is the most important sheet that you will get, because this allows you to go to an embassy or a consulate to apply for a visa. Congratulations, you have made it through the process. But of course, this is not the end, because point 8 is waiting for you. Now a lot of organization is following. Paying the tuition fees, booking a flight, finding an apartment, paying the visa fee, paying the service fee, prepare yourself for the topic you will be researching, improve your English a little, organize everything in your home country to be able to slip away for half a year, and a lot of more things. But keep in mind, this is the fun part. I hope this video helped you to realize your plans. Just stay motivated, even if there's a lot of bureaucracy. And I'm sure it will work out. I'll keep my fingers crossed for you. As always, questions can be asked in the comment section, and I will try to answer all of them. See you in the next video, and thanks for watching.